So like we mentioned in the video, and because of what we learned, we're here going to solve an exercise, and in this question it says, why is the Earth's biodiversity greater near the equator? So let's go ahead and go through each and every option and select why this is not the option. So if you look at the option A, it's not the correct answer. And the reason is because the equator, there's no differentiation or even comparison because of land. Okay, so it's not because of land, it's because of the species that tend to live in warm climates than they do in cold climates. Now, in order to answer this question, we can involve people. Now you can see more people live near the warm areas than they live in the Antarctica or near the poles. So that's basically it. Now moving on to the next example or the question, which of the following is not a characteristics of living things? Well, living thing, as you know, can reproduce. It is made up of body cells, and not all of them use the ability to use energy from sunlight, but they have ability to respond to the environment. So since it states that which of this is not a characteristics, it's the option C, which says the ability to use energy from sunlight, because we can't go to on sunlight and retrain energy from it like plants do. So moving on to third question, which says what makes up Earth's biosphere. Now you know biosphere consists of living things and the environment. So the answer has to be related to living things or environments, or both. So if we look at each and every option, option A would sound reasonable because all of the living things and their environments on Earth makes up the Earth's biosphere. Not only living thing, but also the environment. So it should consist both of them. And other options, they're irrelevant. So we do not pick them, which are C and D. So moving on to our fourth example, and here we need to recall the stuff that we learned. Now there's two options that might seem confusing. So before going on to the option, let's go ahead and read the question. The question says, which of the following statement is true about biodiversity? Now if you read all of the options except for D, D might sound reasonable because even in the book from which we studied the whole section about, it says thousands of new species are being discovered every year because most of them die and new one can reproduce. So it's not about half or percentages, it's about option D. Now moving on to our next example, which says how do multicellular organisms differ from unicellular organisms? Now without looking at the option, let's go back to the basics. If we say multicellular organism, we can think of humans that has multiple cells included in their organism. While if you were to look at unicellular organism, the organism that only contains one cell are known as unicellular organisms. So knowing that information from before or past, we can apply it over here and say option B is the correct answer because it says multicellular organisms have cells with specialized function. The cells of unicellular do not. It's only one particular function. So as multicellular organism can perform multiple actions at a time, while unicellular can only perform one action at a time. So yeah guys, even though this was a short video on the biodiversity of in biology, but this covers almost all the basics that you might need to understand this section. Now we cannot take a huge long exercise because not a lot of people would want to watch that video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and we'll do more this kind of revision or exercise, same basic thing but in different section. So keep looking forward to that, and thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.